get you by the goosebumps, goosebumps. Gotta get you by the goosebumps, gotcha. They're gonna get you by the goosebumps, goosebumps. Gotta get you by the goosebumps.
Hello and welcome back to Drunken Book Club. I'm your host, Christopher the High Executioner Rupel. And joining me today is...
And over here to your right, you'll see Chris, and I'm Sam, your tour guide.
I'm probably that one dude that is drunkenly there but doesn't remember why he's there. Juan.
And I'm Weiss. I didn't read, so I don't know what we're talking about.
And this episode we in quotes, read A Night in Terror Tower, which I'm really sad you guys didn't get a chance to
watch the actual episode.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of sad
because it's a pretty legit, really good one. It has two adaptations. It has the audio style one, the audio play style one, produced by Disney, and then the more modern one. And then there's also the TV show episode, which is pretty decent and actually fixes a lot of things I hated about the book.
Nice.
Which I'll get into later.
So this is the episode I'm going to be surprised.
Yes. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun for your surprises.
Right, cool.
I listened to the unabridged version for the sake of just clarity.
And you also started that one versus the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before further ado, I noticed this is called Drunken Book Club, but we don't talk about drinks anymore because I don't really drink anymore. I got really sick back on New Year's Eve this year, and I was like, I don't really want to touch alcohol ever again. Like that, it was that kind of sick.
What was the last drink that I saw? The last drink that I heard you talk about was the spiked hot chocolate.
Yeah. So
that was the last thing I heard you talk
Yeah.
about. I haven't seen you consume anything.
yeah, I
in a while.
really don't drink alcohol anymore, but I am going to start including a drink recipe with each episode to go with it.
Okay.
So here we go. This is the episode. This drink is called the High Executioner. It's going to be pretty simple. You're going to want to get some Beefeater gin because it's British and it's got a Beefeater and they're visiting Terror Tower where people are executed. And you're going to want a tonic. We're pretty much making a gin and tonic here, but with a little extra. So make your gin and tonic normal. You put one shot of gin in a glass that has been filled with ice. You top it off with tonic water, and then you're going to pour on top a little bit of grenadine over a spoon so it just floats on the top. And then you're going to put 2 maraschino cherries staked with toothpicks so you have 2 heads. So 2 bloody heads for the High Executioner with this gin and tonic kind of twist. And there you go. That's the drink for the episode.
That sounds good.
I just want to yell out, "There's a drunken book club. Here's a phony.
You're phony." Yeah, I was about to say maybe one day I'll get back into it, but right now I'm like so disgusted at the thought of drinking any alcohol because of how sick I got.
Yep, that'll do it.
Like I didn't even throw up. It was just like how
That nauseous,
nauseous I felt when I was taking care of Max's place. I felt like I was gonna throw up, but I never did.
Yeah.
And poor Honey was just like, I couldn't take her on a walk because I felt so bad. Like I felt so sick.
Gross.
and you didn't want to throw up.
I didn't want to let go of the leash when she's barking at another dog and me being like, oh no. So guys, this is kind of the perfect time to ask first impressions. What do you think this one's going to be about, Weiss? A Night in Terror Tower.
Night in Terror Tower. A dare gone wrong.
A dare gone wrong. Okay. Yeah. I can dig that. Juan?
I think I remember this book.
Okay.
Because I remember reading it and seeing the episode. If it's the one that I'm thinking of.
Well, hey, how about we hear what it is and see if you're right?
Yeah. I believe they go on a field trip to a castle and it's haunted.
You're close. You are close.
Yeah.
All right, and Sam, you read it, so you don't. I mean, unless you remember what your first impressions of the book were before listening to it.
So I saw a bit of the TV show before I read the book.
Yeah.
Because I think we started to watch it in a different time. Mm-hmm. And I remember they're going into the castle and they're like, it's creepy, but look, it's all old. I don't need to worry about that.
And the boy's like, tortured?
Yeah.
He says it like that. It's so funny. Torture?
Found you Simpsons quote. And I was like, it's something to do with almost Night at the Museum kind of shit. Was my first thought.
You would think that another classic movie from the 2000s would rip off R.L. Stine. Please. All right. Well, before we get into the story, gotta talk about this cover. This is kind of a weird one when you think about it. On the cover, you have the Lord High Executioner, who in the book is described as a tall, thin man wearing a black cape and a wide-brimmed hat. While on the cover, we have a stereotypical executioner with a black hood and axe.
Yep.
a badass cover, but not what I would have done for this book because there's no executioner like this in the book. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just play on the actual title
Yeah.
of the antagonist.
For what it's worth, though, Tim Jacobus was pressed for time on this one because he had to edit like his original design, I think, because it's like something was wrong. I can't remember the exact story, but there was like a story of why he had to change it and why it's like kind of like this versus an actual one. But I mean, hey, it's definitely a cool cover. You got a creepy dude with an axe.
It's metal.
Yeah,
Like, it's metal as hell.
I could see this being a cover of like a Thor album or something, you know, just one of those random like new wave of British heavy metal bands, like album covers, just bam, and it's, you know, Execution Style by Soulfly there. Time for a story, guys. Siblings Sue and Eddie have been sightseeing in London. Since their parents are at a conference, the kids are by themselves. The siblings go to Terror Tower, where they are led through the old building in a tour group. The tour guide introduces the group to the Tower Room, a place where the Prince and Princess Edward and Susanna of York were locked away. Sue and Eddie inspect the room so intently that they don't realize their tour group has left. Have you guys ever done that before? Like gone on like a tour group and like gotten left behind or anything?
Having on left behind because the last one I remember is when we would go to like the desert museum.
Yeah.
And they would corral us like freaking cattle.
Yeah, which I mean, fair. They don't want this to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I was gonna say,
they had parent volunteers.
I don't remember, but again, yeah, it's usually because they were like, no, we are not letting a child.
Yeah, my mom was usually a chaperone.
For like a guided thing like this, they were like, no.
My mom was only ever chaperoned one time, and it was like my 5th grade year.
It was either my mom, my nana, or my tata.
My mom only chaperoned one thing, and it was for the jazz festival that I went with my non-school group, and it sucked ass because we had to share a room with like 3 other people, and like no one wanted to share a bed. There was no couch. And like one person already, I was like, I'll take the bathtub, and she's like, no, I'm gonna take it now. So I had to sleep on the floor, and I got pissed, and I just found my mom, and I was like, fuck it, we're sharing a room. You have your own room, fuck it.
Fair enough.
We only got like 5 hours of sleep, I think, like all together that trip. And like solos got bumped to make way for the fucking like uber talented kid that parents paid out the nose. And
We're just like, we paid for a child to start lessons when they were like 4 type of person.
no, he was just like that freakishly talented. Like there'd be an instrument he's never played before, and he'd just pick it up in like 10 minutes. He'd be good at it, and we're like,
Yep.
you're just a
He
like
had that kind of autism.
we're like. I remember I took lessons with the same guy that he did, and like my teacher was like, no, he's just a freak.
Fucking freak.
So fuck you, Doug Titeback.
Also, I don't know if you noticed, Weiss, but the prince and princess were Edward and Susanna. The kids' names are Susan. and Eddie.
Don't ruin it for him.
Just for you. He's gonna forget.
Yeah, he's not gonna remember.
It's like talking to a grandparent. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's nice, sweetie.
Oh god, are they Transformers? Are they time travelers? I read Transformers. There's a box in front of me that says Transformers.
They are Transformers, yes.
One turns into a gun.
They begin descending the tower stairs, but they run into a man who is dressed in black, Johnny Cash himself. I believe you're in the wrong place, sir. I'm gonna have to shoot your ass.
You're in the wrong place today.
I also like this because I always take these from the Goosebumps wiki. Presumably an executioner.
Presumably.
And carrying 3 white stones. The kids dodge the man and begin running down the stairs. The siblings are eventually chased into a tunnel, and the man catches up to them. However, the man is attacked by a swarm of rats, allowing the kids to escape.
You know what the funny thing is? Is all I could think of, it's one of those, like, it's not even related, but all I could think of was the Teen Girls Club of Possum.
Wave of possums.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. That scene reminded me a lot of The Last Crusade when they're in the Vatican sewers with all those rats.
It also put me back in oblivion when I got stuck and I got, like, lost in the tunnels. And just so many fucking rats. So many rats.
Also, it's funny, in the TV show episode, they replaced the rats with bats. And they're very fake looking. It's beautiful.
Somebody just has a
Like
string
the beach episode, the surf one, and the bats came out.
Yeah. No, not like that. There was actually rubber bats.
Oh wow!
Somebody just had a string and was...
It was a bunch of rubber bats on the guy being like, oh.
They're like, we already did bat CGI once. We don't have to pay for it.
Don't worry. That's next season. We have to worry about that ghost beach. They find a ladder that takes them out of the tunnel and into Terror Tower's parking lot.
Oh.
The kids are stopped by a guard, and he calls the kids a taxi.
You're a taxi.
Is he presumably an executioner?
No, he's not.
No, he's
He's
just
presumably a guard.
He's just an old dude that's just like guarding the place, and he's like, "What the
"Ah,
fuck are you guys doing here?"
Get out. The kids are driven to the Barclay Hotel, but when Sue tries to pay, the driver refuses to accept the strange coin Sue offers. Sue is confused as to why her parents would give her money that wasn't standard. The kids say their parents will pay, and the driver allows them to enter the hotel, telling them he'll catch them if they aren't back in a few minutes. The kids go to the room where they think their parents are staying, but they learn the room is empty.
Like, this was honestly terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
As a kid.
because it's
No,
like,
as an adult.
As an adult.
yeah, because like,
Going like, have you never had like kind of like feeling of like, wait, this was our room, why is there nothing in here? Like, there's none of our luggage, parents aren't in here, what's going on?
no, nothing. Like, it is
Like, it's been it's a clean
brand new room,
Like, that's scary.
and like, yeah, they're like, our parents should be at this meeting, and they're.
Well, we'll get there.
Well,
soon.
I'm saying, like, they're supposed to be back by now, so maybe they're at the meeting, kind of thing. And it's, but again, like, there's no luggage, no clothing, no nothing.
And worst of all, Weiss, a taxi driver.
A British taxi driver. I'm gonna get you, you fucking gits.
You know what's messed up? All I'm thinking is fake taxis. You know what
God damn it, we're back at the fake taxi.
This is 2 episodes in a row. That's the funny part, because literally the
We
last
stopped
episode was
watching
that.
fake
That's
taxi.
all I thought about.
And the
because
worst part
last
is it's British too. So
Yeah.
This is why this
Technically European, because there's also like...
There's some other countries.
Yeah.
this is
I
so
don't even know.
bad.
I do.
Hello, children. You got fake taxi.
No!
See, all I can think of is the
And we're in one of those countries where
Why
kids
do you
are
have
forced
so much
into this.
room in this taxi?
there's a lot of leg room.
Don't worry, they're presumed to be 18 and 20,
What have I done?
or 18
There's-
and 19,
they're
so they
also
can still be
step
teens.
siblings.
Presumed to be.
Yeah.
Somebody
No, they're
tell
regular
me,
siblings.
please.
Oh god.
You brought up... You're
You're the one who brought it.
it up.
brought this up.
Hey,
I know, that's
guess
why
what? Guess what? We wouldn't be talking this if you hadn't brought it up. Like, legit, none of us
that
were
was
thinking
on
that.
you, Weiss,
I
like-
wasn't thinking it. Sam wasn't.
I was thinking British taxi.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking, hello, governor.
Hello, governor.
Give me your strange coins aren't wanted here. But no, you're like...
You're
"Oi,
like,
you
porn."
want to make a pound?
I like Sam is the one who went with the regular show character of hello, governor.
That's what I thought of when I saw when they were like the black taxi. I was like, hello, governor. Sue and Eddie head to the front desk to ask if the conference is still happening, only to be told there is no conference.
Dun 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 dun.
The man behind the desk says he can help the kids if they provide their last names, but the siblings are unable to remember that.
See, that's freaky too. They don't
Yeah.
That's
know
worse.
their names. They only know their first names, and that's it.
They're like, what are our last names?
Who are we? Kind of freaky, and they don't even remember what happened yesterday. They don't remember their own past. They don't know where they're even from.
What do their
What are you
parents...
talking about? That's like me every day.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, Weiss is probably the only one in this room who can actually...
Like I don't.
They're like, what do our parents look like?
Okay, we're not a bunch of old chihuahuas, Weiss.
Sorry. As I'm shaking it.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't have any of his original teeth,
No.
but he's going to live like another 50 years. Like, he's going to outlive like all of us.
Fucking Weiss's tongue
Yeah,
goes
just
up to his
drag it
eyeball.
Just like the tongue is just out all the time.
There is no teeth.
Just still expands like 4
Yeah.
feet
Yeah.
out.
Then when he wants to like lick something, it just keeps going. It's like a
Just
fruit.
pull it.
It's a fruit by the foot.
Yeah, it's just a fruit by the foot, basically. And like,
It's like the
eventually,
Scooby Doo tongue at the beginning of the
This
credits
is
when
where
they
we
still getting
commission
candy.
someone to draw Chihuahua Weiss.
Lisa's true persona is a chihuahua.
No, legit. We talked about this a while back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Well, I mean, we didn't say persona, but which dogs we were
Yeah,
2
yeah.
episodes back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you call a callback.
Yeah.
just like the fake
Oh man,
taxi that
we
brought
never
up.
we never did get any fan art of us drawn as dogs, and
Damn.
me as a cat. Mao, TT Mao.
The more the kids think about it, the more they realize they don't remember anything before joining the tour. The kids go to the hotel restaurant, but seeing the taxi driver walk in, the kids sneak into a dark hallway. Sadly, Eddie and Sue are reunited with the man in black.
No.
The man demands that Eddie give something back, and the boy begrudgingly gives back the 3 stones. Evidently, Eddie had swiped the items when they were in the tunnel.
Yeah, they kind of left that out, but Eddie's a really good pickpocket.
Yeah, it's like put in. It's
Like, no,
put in
like-
pretty early that he like
Like
pickpockets.
he literally pickpocketed his sister's camera, and like it's like, damn, you're good.
Yeah, he just pickpockets like everything. Little weird klepto. The man places the stones in the palm of his own hand and begins chanting. Suddenly,
Yumo gwe gwe 5 E's out.
Well, I was thinking the...
Suddenly, everything begins to change around the siblings.
Might as well keep it British.
The kids find themselves alone in an old hallway with candles on the wall. The siblings hear voices, which they follow.
It's a sex dungeon.
So at first they find an abbey, because at first they find like monks, because they're like in robes, and he's like, "Don't leave the abbey."
The area they're in is an abbey,
Yeah.
where they wake up in, and
And he's like, "Don't leave the abbey," and they're like, "We're gonna leave the abbey."
Yeah. Well, they didn't get it. They didn't understand that they were in an abbey. They thought they were in the hotel the whole time.
Yeah.
They just thought it was what's it called? I mean, we're gonna get into it, but they think that they're in. Like there's like a what's it called, like a Renaissance festival like kind of convention happening inside the hotel, which is like, hey, that's fair to think. Like weird kind of events happen at hotels.
Yeah.
Furry convention, anime convention, Whis convention, cancer con.
Yeah.
The two things are different.
These actually are all
He's got a whole like
synonymous.
Yeah.
it's like PAX, but just for Whis.
Yeah, it's just me.
I would like a Whis frittata. Sorry, we're out.
Just me talking to myself.
Someone cosplaying as Whis.
Yeah. No, everyone behind the counter can only with one arm, and they're just like...
They
and
forget
Whis-
your order halfway through, too.
Yeah.
And they give you something slightly different.
It reminds me of Rick and Morty with like
The fucking...
All the different Ricks and
the
Mortys
Ricks
of
and
like...
Mortys.
Oh, I was gonna say the what's the dad's name again?
Jerry.
Yeah, all the Jerrys.
Yep.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
exactly
We
the
said
daycare.
we
Yeah.
daycare.
Just so Whis daycare.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking.
There's only that every Whis is fully capable except for just me.
No. There is one that is also just opposite side you.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's
He's
that's the
fourth
evil.
right-hander.
That's the evil.
Yeah, that's evil Whis.
That's the Whis.
He has a better mustache than you, though.
Where's that?
Pretty much.
Where's an eye
It
patch and
curls.
everything?
No. Instead of a mustache, he has hair underneath his bottom lip.
Just right here.
Like that. Like it's just like
Oh.
that. Like it's That's like a weird long goatee.
But it's a choice.
Yeah.
Like he could grow it out, but he chooses to keep just the weird.
yeah.
Kids find a crowd of people who are feasting by firelight and dressed in old-fashioned robes. Sue asks a man for help, but he, and eventually everyone in the room, begins staring at the siblings in disbelief. A man declares that he recognizes the kids, but the kids run away, confused.
I know you.
Hey, I recognize you.
You. What's the line from Oblivion?
You've committed crimes
Thank
against. I was about to say Skyrim. I can't remember what it is.
Now, criminal scum.
Stop, criminal scum. Yeah.
Once the kids are outside, they find that it is somehow daytime, even though it had been dark when they entered the hotel. The kids also notice that there are no modern buildings or cars. After stopping to ask a local boy for help, Sue turns back to find that her brother is gone. Sue is spotted by the executioner, but she runs away. Sue approaches a woman and pays her, using the same coins from earlier, in exchange for a place to hide.
And she is like overcome. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, she gives her a
gold
fucking sovereign.
And
Yeah.
she's like, I saw this once when I was a child. I haven't seen this like since.
Yeah, poor ass bitch needed that.
Yeah.
The woman rushes Sue inside and hides her in a large basket, but the woman promptly ushers the executioner inside and brings him to Sue. The woman also refers to the man as the Lord High Executioner.
Dun dun dun.
Since the basket is latched, the executioner is able to transport Sue back to Terror Tower. Soldiers carry Sue to the top of the room of the tower. There, Sue finds Eddie, and he admits that he was also kidnapped.
Also,
The way that it's written, it's like,
Yeah.
sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
I also got kidnapped.
Yeah, I also got kidnapped. Sorry. I think it's hilarious that this poor broke woman is like, "Oh, I'll take your money," and then it's like, "Yes, High Executioner, she's right in here."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Bitch, you got no loyalty? I just gave you a fucking gold sovereign worth,
Like, you can live the rest of your life pretty set.
yeah, like it's like if one of us got like $1 million or something right
Yeah.
now. It's like, we are set for life now. We don't need to do anything. And she's just like, nah, I'm too scared of the police. And like fucking one of us gets like busted by the police chief Wiggum. Because I don't know what our police chief's name is.
That is
It's
correct.
Wiggum.
A man with white hair walks in. The man introduces himself as Morgred, the King's Sorcerer. Morgred reveals that Sue and Eddie are Princess Susanna and Prince Edward of York. Ooh, call back, Whis, call back.
Foreshadowing.
Morgred sent the kids to the future and wiped their memories to protect them from being executed.
Oh my lord.
The
A
kids'
wizard
uncle-
did it.
Yeah. He did it to help them. But did he?
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. The kids' uncle killed their parents and planned on killing them
Oh my
in
God.
order to take the throne.
Okay, that surprised me.
It's Prince of Persia all over again.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Go listen to Disney movie music.
Morgred used his 3 white stones and the chant, Movarum Lavaris Movaris, to send the kids to the future.
Walrus.
But the
Kids,
Lord...
we gotta get you back to the future.
Dun, 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 dun. But the Lord High Executioner stole the stones,
Where we're going, we don't need last names.
and he used them to hunt the duo, while Morgred once again has his stones. Penis. He can't send the kids into the
No, that's
future.
balls. Stones is.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
my fault.
He has
can't
3
send the-
balls.
No, stones in British is the weight, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's just holding 3 weights in his hand.
Stones.
When they say they hold his knob, that's
Yes.
his dick.
Yes. That's why you don't see the word knob in this book.
Fire?
Oh, also true. He
So
can't
that should-
send the kids into the future because their uncle would kill him in retaliation.
Oh my gosh, it is Prince of Persia.
Told ya.
Edward steals the stones from Morgred and begins performing the chant. After a moment, Susanna notices that they are standing before a tour group. Morgred has also been brought with the kids. They made sure to take him in order to prevent him from being executed? Jeez.
Sexecuted, actually.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, he
They
was-
get put in the medieval fake taxi.
Susanna and Edward agreed to call themselves Sue
it's the fake wagon.
and Eddie, respectively. Morgan chooses to call himself Mr. Morgan and will act as the kid's father from then on. What the heck?
It's such a weird ending, and I don't like it, but the TV show does actually improve on it. And fuck it, I'm going to talk about it now.
Yeah.
So in the TV show, they get captured and they get sent to the tower. They meet Morgred. Then they gussy them up into like the royal outfits before they get executed. And we actually see an executioner. It's like, oh hey, look, it's just like the book. The High Executioner still has the stones, and Eddie goes up to him and is like, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. And is like hugging him, trying to clearly pickpocket him for if you're smart enough and know pickpocketing shit,
Yeah.
misdirection. He's all like, hey, I got the stones, and tosses him to Morgred. He's like, say the words, Morgred, and save us. And they get teleported all together, and that makes a lot more sense with them doing that versus, oh yeah, we saved Morgred too somehow. Even though we weren't touching him or anything.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the room or anything like that.
Yeah, so I like that the show covered its bases on that, but unfortunately, I think the show kind of fails at the aspect that it can't show you this fear of like not knowing who you are without immediately going to the next thing in what's happening in the story. Versus in the story, they're able to dwell on, wait, who are we? Are we even real?
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
what was going on?
At first, it just starts with the why do we have like old timey money, like money that isn't accepted? Like what's
And they were actual like coins.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
sovereigns. They're sovereigns.
like they were like why do we have this?
Yeah, don't give me that play money, the taxi driver said.
And they're like, this is like real metal though. Like why
Gas,
did
grass, or cash.
why did Dad give us this kind of thing? And
I
then
felt the eyes.
and then they're like, yeah, we're in this hotel. Like we're in this room, and they get into the room, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And then it just gets freakier and freakier of like, okay, what's going on? And you kind of feel like you're going crazy.
And I was about to say, I feel like there's a lot of good adult fears in this story.
Yeah, this would be something that'd be good to get turned into like a Netflix adaptation.
Yeah, I feel like it could use like a full, like, 60-minute plus. I mean, it did have a 2-parter episode, and I think it did good with that. But I think besides also being written in the 90s and being,
Yes.
kind
like
of...
an update.
An update would be nice. I feel like it could use a nice updated and still have the good production. Like, honestly, the episode also has some great production value. Like, costumes are really good. It's crazy. I recognized one of the actors because I was like, wait, she sounds really familiar. And it's like this old craggly ass bitch who's like, your cast or whatever. You need to go now, you bitch ass children.
Fuck
And
you.
and I'm like, she sounds kind of like the witch from The Witch. And I had to look it up, and it is actually the witch from The Witch.
Oh.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Before or after?
But this is way before.
Way before,
because
so-
The Witch didn't come out till like 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, The Witch, not The Witches.
Oh, okay, my fault.
Not the one with Angelica Houston.
The one with the
Hot mommy.
asshole goat that like
Black
caused
Goat.
problems.
Yes.
I just love reading about all the shit he did during production. They're like, this fucking goat.
It's a douchebag. All right, so here's some of my notes. There's some nice foreshadowing in chapter 1 with this quote. You can't see any of the city outside the wall. It's as if we really stepped back in time.
Yeah.
It's good foreshadowing. And there's also other foreshadowing with like just all the stuff they have on them and not knowing anything about themselves. Like having the gold sovereigns is good foreshadowing of like, wait, I know they're
And
literally
not knowing their last names.
yeah, and shit like that. The tour guide in this has such cheesy jokes. In a different timeline, RL would have been a museum tour guide telling these kinds of jokes.
Yeah.
So, fun
agreed.
fact with Tower of London, at least, you have to be, for the, like, basically, like, for accreditations, you have to have a lot of years of military service.
Yeah.
It's like 20 plus years of serving in the British military.
Beef eater.
Like, you can't just, like, not anyone can apply.
I like that the first half of the book is just a scary mind terror, and then the second half of this book is Magic Treehouse. It's literally them going back in time.
No, I had that thought too, especially once the wizard came. I'm like, are you fucking Merlin? I swear to
Yeah.
God, if you're Merlin.
Or Morgan. There's
Morgan.
also Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
But Morlun was also in the books too. Alright, so what inspired Stein? Surprisingly enough, the premise of two heirs to the English throne mysteriously vanishing is actually based on true events. In 1483, Richard III placed his two nephews, Edward V and Richard, Duke of York, in the Tower of London, then a palace, and were never seen again. It is not known what happened to the two young princes, but most rumors say they were killed.
And, like, yeah, technically you can go visit that room, by the way.
Yes.
Like one could assume that they were assassinated.
Oh, they were definitely.
Oh, definitely.
He definitely had them killed in
So-
secret. All right, time for the random question section.
Woo!
Would you like to see the Tower of London?
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna say, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, damn, I wish I could go to England easier.
Have you ever been by yourself during a vacation as a kid? Like, ever been, like, you know, those random moments? I don't think I've ever personally. I feel like the closest is I get taken by one of the parents.
My closest is back when Fast Pass was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would be the kid who was sent to go get them.
Yeah.
So I would be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
like,
it's Disneyland, so
yeah,
it's not like here.
Yeah, I'm not scared because
Yeah.
I'm running to go grab tickets.
That would usually be my dad doing that one.
Yeah, the closest I had is kind of similar, but it was with it was like the first time like my cousin and I were left on our own. And it was basically we were dropped off at a mall in San Diego,
Yeah.
and we watched a movie, and then we like dicked around the mall for a little bit. So yeah, it wasn't exactly like
Was it the outside mall? The one that has like half of it is outside, but then you can go deeper in where it's an inside,
I think
like
so.
towards downtown.
To be fair, it's been like 20 years since that, so
My fault.
I'm like, I think it was, because I do remember like there was like an outside like courtyard kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Partially because they were talking about like the other one, they're like, no, because there's gangs and shit. Like the other one that they were talking about was like violent, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that comes to mind is just when I would go to Nightfall. And
Yeah.
It was just me and, like, cousins. And sometimes it was just friends, but that was, like, the only time I was, like, without my parents at a place that was supposed to be scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was allowed to be in the mall by myself at like 12 or 11 because my mom worked at the mall, so I could just go straight to the theater if I was bored or anything, which I would tend to do, but I would most of the time spend my time at Software Etc.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Or like Lord
gosh.
GameStop when it was in there.
Well, that's what GameStop was.
Yes.
Was Software Etc.
Yeah.
I still remember.
Here's the thing. Hot take. Not sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I think Software Etc. was way better than GameStop.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Because they actually had like a lot of different things, like, and now they're selling, like, they had movies and CDs and shit.
Yep.
So I remember my first encounter with Final Fantasy was at Software Etc. with my mom.
Yep.
Because she was buying it for my sister's, who was eventually her first husband, but it was boyfriend at the time.
Right.
And I think it was Final Fantasy X. And I was like, why is it called Final Fantasy if it's the 10th one? And my mom's like, I don't know.
You little
I don't
smart
fucking
ass.
know. Like, just buying the game because that's what he wants for his birthday.
And another reason why I
Monkey
like
One. Why is it called Final Fantasy?
Mac because
Is
they
this the
sold
last one?
the actual figures.
Oh yeah, forgot about that too.
GameStop did that for a minute, but then they
But then they
stopped.
stopped. Yeah.
Have you ever been? Oh wait, I already asked someone. Favorite form of torture? Does anybody have a favorite form of torture?
I'm a big fan, which sounds weird, of the Iron Maiden.
Who doesn't love the Iron Man? Which I am very sad to say was never actually implemented or used. It's actually a fan made, not fan made, but like Yeah, it was fan made.
This is my own torture device. Do not steal.
Yeah, but they actually never really used it. It was just kind of just a thing they had. But it's so cool.
Yeah.
Literally a fucking iron ass bitch with spikes inside, and you put some asshole in there.
I think the bamboo one is probably the like fucking most evil. to
Oh, when
me.
it grows into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which works. Oh, you're thinking of the one underneath your nails.
Yeah, that's
that's pretty bad too.
See, I like the one
Which
where it's
one
just
are
in
you
general.
talking about?
Where it's just like in general, like they'll basically like have
Like-
you lay on the.
Yeah, they'll have you lay on the ground, and like it naturally grows into you, and it will puncture through you.
Like
yes, 'cause
Mythbusters
did an
it takes
episode.
couples like
Yeah,
yeah.
like
So you're also getting dehydrated, starved,
starving, and you're getting pierced
yeah.
through
Either
the
that
body.
or the like one where they like put you in like they make you drink all like the fucking like milk and honey thing.
Yeah, the milk and honey
Yeah.
one, and they put you on a boat, and you
like,
end
you're
up
stuck
puking
there.
and shit, and then like the flies and shit start eating at you.
Yeah, those ones could just because they're so like fucked up but so simple.
Weiss, what about some native ones? What are some native forms of torture? Listening to white people, am I right, guys? Hey,
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if we had anything. Jesus.
Us Spaniards, we loved our tortures.
Y'all crazy. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you would because we went to the Renaissance Festival and we would see like
The Hall of Torture.
The Hall of Torture.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
One of my favorites is where they would hang the guy, and like they wouldn't let them die though. They would like as like right before he died, like they would just start like disemboweling him,
Yeah.
and like letting his guts fall out, and like people would throw their guts right back at the dude while he's still choking, but like slowly not choking anymore, but like fucking like dangling there.
Yeah.
While his guts are getting thrown back at him. Come on, kids, let's go look at stuff.
We used to just like what the fuck.
I have no idea. I'm not
again,
into this.
Come on, what about the Aztec tradition of cutting a man open or chopping off his head and then using his head as a sports game?
That's not torture, that's death.
I mean, that technically torture can end with death. A lot of tortures end with death.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just straight death and not.
Sacrifices are so much more
Another
different.
one that like gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the rat.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
the one
the-
where they place it
Yeah,
on
and
someone and
And like a
cover it
copper.
and-
It's usually like copper or something like that,
Yep.
and then they heat.
It's metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
and the
they
poor
heat
rat
up.
like freaks out, so it just tries to.
It tries to dig out because it's too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I learned that from fucking Duckman.
Easy, Duckman. I know over 200 ways to kill a man.
You could glue an open jar of rats to his face, then blowtorch the other side of the jar so the rats have to eat their way out through his face.
201.
Yeah, I remember that from Duckman
Because
as well.
he's like,
Again, I just remembered the Hall of Torture from the Renaissance Festival.
All right, and next question. What would your medical job be, which is supposed to be medieval job? What would
my
your
medical job is what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
Actually, my medical job would be...
But yeah, what would your medieval job be? Weiss would be a sacrifice.
No. I'd be the crazy man.
Who's
Spooing everybody's at the witch.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, fair.
But they
fair.
won't, no one will believe me because it's Reese.
You're just crazy Tom from fucking Friday the 13th.
There you go.
medieval.
I would be the bell toller, like
Yeah.
like Quasimodo.
Yeah. 15 rings! 15 rings!
Yes, master.
I know my family, and it's one of those like I would have been a farmer. I'm from fucking farm stock. Like
Knowing
Yeah, that's what I'd be.
knowing both sides of my family, being the Spanish and the Irish side, I would probably go up in my classic Catholic side and be a monk.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I would like to do the do the script stuff because I like actual writing out script and also doing little doodles of weird monsters and rabbits with fucks and butts and stuff.
Yeah.
and dicks.
Yeah, lots of dicks and butts.
I was like, I could also, although I guess it's one of those depending on the type of side of Germany. But I'm like, if I was a nun,
Yeah,
and then I'd just
Yay.
have a really good friend that I would spend a lot of time with, and no one would question
Sam,
it.
You're a nun in Germany. The hills are alive with a song of music.
That's only that's the 1900s, not medieval.
No, it gets to be medieval now, and you get
No.
to be a nun.
You were up by...
And that's not
You're only up
that
by
wasn't
100.
German. That was Austria, wasn't it?
Whatever. I've never seen it in my life. I know all the references, but I've never seen it.
I don't know. It could be Germany. I don't know.
Disney movie muses will eventually get it because it's a 20th century Fox.
I believe it's Germany.
I'm still not. No, I'm gonna say
The Sound of
I'm a
Music?
Protestant.
Yeah, Sound of
I'm
Music is
technically-
Fox.
I believe it's Germany.
I'm Lutheran, so I technically wouldn't be a monk. I wouldn't be able to be a nun
Yippee!
Hold on, I'm looking at Sound of Music.
because apparently one of the things they did during the Lutheran Reformation is they were like a lot of nuns. They're like, you don't have to be a nun now, and they're like, I liked being a nun.
Because they had structure, and that's all they knew.
They had structure, they had freedom, because they didn't have to get married, I was going to say.
Because
And
back then, it was very frowned upon to be a single woman.
yeah.
And
One of
yeah,
those-
Sound of Music is 20th Century Fox.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Yeah, it'll be eventually.
Yep,
Put it on the list.
it is.
I at this point, I am going to use my veto.
You don't like The Sound of Music?
I love it.
No, he wants to use it
Oh,
for.
okay.
Why don't you do Mary Poppins? I thought you loved Mary Poppins more.
I do love Mary Poppins more.
Chimmery,
I just love
Okay, we're not on Disney movie music. Let's not get into that.
You can listen to this on Disney Music.
At this point, I just love Julie Andrews.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Valid.
So, okay, and my final question is, did R.L. Stine write this? As the only person who read it, Sam, you don't get this one because you heard the audiobook and also the reprint version.
Yeah, because there were times where they're like, we're in the 21st century.
I think he did a once-over after a ghostwriter had given their final draft. He has claimed to have had to cut the chase scenes down, and I feel like that's going to be something that a ghostwriter had put in, and he's like, oh no, I need to cut these down because they're really boring. And
really boring, and they don't add anything to my plot.
and I need
Where's
more.
the mention of the red hair?
Where's the... And you know what's funny? There's none of the
red
main
hair?
characters have red hair, but a person passing by them has red hair.
Yep.
So I feel like, oh, that's the once over on that.
Yep.
And adding the funny tour guide, that was definitely Arlstein's jokes.
Make sure that this one person has red hair.
Yeah.
The carpets have to match the drapes.
Just like his wife. But that's why he always puts a redhead, because his wife's a redhead. But yeah, I'm saying like a 50-50 chance of... Yes, I think he wrote some of it, but not the whole thing.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
All right, book report time. I guess it's just me and Sam on book reports.
The other thing I would say
yes.
that tilts me more towards Ghostwriter,
Yes.
not as many, and I know part of it's the whole England thing, not as many pop culture stuff, though.
Yes, there's like no pop culture references.
Because usually you'll list all the stuff, and I couldn't catch anything.
There's nothing.
That's weird.
So that's another thing.
Because usually they'll be like, he pulled out his Ninja Turtle backpack.
or-
Yeah. Like something random, even like an actual
Atari
brand.
or-
Yeah.
Atari, no, he says Nintendo. He does say Nintendo.
ate-
He's not
Eddie
that
asked
all
for-
to touch.
Eddie asked for Jell-O at tea time, and they gave us the dirtiest look.
Yeah, oh,
That
yeah,
kind of
something like
shit,
that.
like-
Yeah, but no, nothing like that. I'm kind of concerned with our next book we're reading, which is The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, because I have a reprint of
I
it.
love the Cuckoo
Oh,
Clock
it's one of my favorites, but we'll get into that when we get to that episode. My one concern I have is I have a reprinted version. My original version is my brother's, and I don't know where he put all his books, but the one that I own is a reprint from 2015, and I've already found multiple instances of reprint changes, and I'm like, they had to change a lot of stuff when they reprinted this book, because you know it's a time travel book,
Yeah.
much like this one. But yes, book report time, Sam.
I thought it was at first I was kind of like, oh, feels very boilerplate and not very interesting. Then it quickly got into like a psychological thriller level that I was not expecting from Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And overall, the pacing is pretty solid. And I'd say it's a pretty solid bump overall. 4 out of 5.
What that we refer to as a bump now. I love that.
Hold on, let me just pop out my spoon real quick.
Yeah, let me pop out my classic McDonald's coffee stirrer spoon. Have you guys ever seen those? This is a pretty solid bump. The scares start early with being chased by a stranger and continuing from there with being lost in an unknown land. I think the pace of the book flows well and keeps it running at a solid pace. If I had to complain about anything, it's the twist that feels like historical fan fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's fair.
I also think the explanation could have been stronger of the implanted memories, but it's a kid's book and it's fine. Like, I feel like it's like he literally transported them today, but it's just like immediately they're forgetting everything. And it's like, oh, Mogren, you fucked up bad.
Yeah.
You fucked these kids over. Why didn't you come with them?
You call him Mogren?
Morgan.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
His name is very similar
You
to
called him
Mogren.
Mogren a few times.
Let's go.
Yeah, whatever.
Mogren.
Let's go, Mogren.
Hey.
For folks at home, that's Weiss's D&D character in Juan's campaign. It's his
Hi.
name.
I'm a little angry Moogle.
Yep. And I give Night in Terror Tower 4 tortured Englishmen out of 5.
And I give it a thumbs up because talking about it re-sparked my memory and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's a really fun one. I definitely recommend it.
I give it 2 Iron Maidens out of 3 ballistas.
Damn. Whoa.
Wow, whoa,
That's,
what?
calm down there, big spender.
Yeah, calm down, big boy. And you know what else the TV show actually fixes? Because you know how they were like, oh, Mogren is like, I would have gone, I only sent you guys back. In the TV show, he was like, I was going to send myself back, but the High Executioner stole my stones from me immediately after I sent you guys. That's a plot hole right there fixed.
Yep.
Yeah, versus
TV
like
show did such a good job of fixing those plot holes.
They at least put a piece of
Plywood.
plywood over the hole
Yeah.
to let you walk over it.
And you know what? That plywood fucking worked.
yeah.
All right, that's been the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed what you heard. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below wherever you're listening to. Rate us 5 stars wherever you can. iTunes,
Do it.
Spotify, all that shit.
Do it.
Do it. And hey, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/GBC and DMM. That's for Drunken Book Club and Disney Movie Muses. For $1 a month, you get bonus content every week, up to 2 bonus minisodes or even full podcast length. I literally did by the time this episode has come out, it'll already be out, but it doesn't come out until later this month. We're recording this in June. This comes out in July. Or wait, maybe this episode comes out in late June. This episode comes out in late June. So I think the same week this episode comes out, I recorded a whole ranking list of all of Weird Al's 14 studio albums. I listened to all of them. I did a scientific method of averaging the score of every single song. I did a ranking list and hope you guys enjoy it when that comes out. Full 35 minutes of me talking Weird Al. I'm going to start doing that for the podcast because it feels like easy content.
I'm gonna check it out. Me and Nola are gonna go see him live in Phoenix on August 30th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick invite, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
It was... Yeah, it's Noela's favorite, so...
Nice. And yeah, it's $1 a month, but you can also join for free and get stuff eventually. But hey, $1 a month gets you episodes up early as well as episodes unedited and filthy content.
Yeah, and I touched myself to you.
Yeah, like Weiss does.
What?
Yeah. And next time around, we're going to be reading the Give Yourself Goosebumps Return to Terror Tower.
Dun 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 dun.
It's one of those more advanced ones, so we're going to probably die like 15 times before we make a correct decision.
Or before we give up. We'll see.
Yay. And then after that, it's the Cool Luck of Doom.
Yippee.
Quantum abortion.
Quantum Abortion. Love that. Love that. I love that book. It's one of my favorites, and I named my band after it for that with Quantum Abortion based off of this.
Yippee.
So there you go. We'll see you guys next time, and keep on cutting your heads off or something. I don't know.
Play with your stones.